What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you tune in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about some statements that Jr. Smith just made, and I got this video from Uncommon Sense, right? And I think they would this video was what was the guy named Richard Jefferson talking to J.R. Smith and asking him about LeBron James and the championship that they won when they was in Cleveland, right? And Teron Lue was the coach, and a situation that went down, right? And this situation to me just proves like what the difference between Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant is, like the difference. And Mark Jackson, in another interview that's going to play on here, just says that Kobe and Mike were two players that you felt like these guys was going to like risk it all, leave everything out on the court, and didn't care about their, like what happened to them physically. Like you would almost have to hurt them, seriously hurt these guys to get them to not play or to take them out of their games. When you look at how the Detroit Pistons used to beat Mike up, and Mike just kept coming and was not going to stop, was, it was just an example of how tough Mike was. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, they had some battles with what was it? Sacramento, man. Sacramento, got real physical with Kobe and all those guys, man. But Kobe was not going back down. But you don't get that same you don't get that same impression from LeBron James, right? As a matter of fact, you have people coming out with examples of how LeBron James was not as tough as those guys. What was the guy? Mario Chalmers came out one time and he told LeBron James, stop acting like a B. They were in a huddle and he told LeBron James, man, stop acting like a B and just play ball. I could never imagine nobody even having to say something like that to Michael Kobe. But if LeBron James is your leader and you got to tell him that, then there's a big difference between him and Mike and Kobe. I think Dwight Howard said at one point in time he had some words with LeBron James and told LeBron James he needed to step his game up when he was with the Lakers, and he said after that he got cut, right? So there have been times where guys had to push LeBron James, and so with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the audio, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna give some more of my input. But here is different people speaking on LeBron James and what the difference between LeBron James was and Mike and Kobe.
Unfortunately, the late great Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan, in my opinion, the two guys I ever played against that was willing to leave it all on the court.
He ain't lying.
We go into halftime, and T-Lou looks right at Bron, says, I need more from you.
I said, Bron, you got to be better, bro.
Damn.
It's like, what you mean? I got this. I said, I don't care about no stats.
Do you remember Bron's reaction?
What the we do?
How much harder will you work in this offseason now to get back to the championship?
I'll push myself to exhaustion. Michael Jordan has got to be the first pick. He was extremely coachable.
Because we never see Lou the most chill.
Yo, so they just said this was Phil Jackson. They had a clip of Phil Jackson in there and said that Michael Jordan was the most coachable player that he had, right? And so just think about it, Michael Jordan being the most coachable, but also Michael Jordan was the best player, in basketball. In my opinion, he the GOAT. He the best basketball player, at least that I have ever seen. And one thing that people have said about LeBron James, like LeBron James is not as coachable as Michael Jordan. He's not as coachable as Kobe Bryant, right? LeBron James wanted to get Eric Spoelstra fired in Miami. LeBron James, didn't want to listen to Pat Riley, whereas though Michael Jordan, they said he was almost loyal to a fault when it came to Phil Jackson, so again, and that worked out for Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan, just look at his career.
He's so chill. He came right in there at halftime like, bro, you got to be better. You got to be better. Bro, I was like, what you want me to do?
What you mean? I got this. I said, I don't care about no stats. You got to be. What you want me to do, T. Lou?
I'm averaging a triple-double in the finals, so I'm pretty good, I would think.
I'm leading rebound and steals assists. He's like, I don't know.
He said, I don't know, but you need to be better. You need to figure it out. Get the ball, dunk the ball, shoot it, pass it, do whatever you got to do.
Unfortunately, the late great Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, so just think about that, man. What was the guy named Bobby Knight, man, said that he had to. Michael Jordan was coaching Michael Jordan. I think it was like some type of junior Olympic team or something like that, right? He said he was coaching Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan was killing the first half, and so he just wanted to, as a coach, he was looking for a reason to motivate his team and to get them to play better, man. So he had to make up stuff, man, about Michael Jordan, just to try to, motivate them and to keep them focused and to get them playing, man. But other than that, Mike was that guy, and so, but you don't get the same type of stories from LeBron James. Like, nobody was harder on Kobe Bryant than Kobe. Like when you get an athlete like that, where you like a coach would never coach an athlete and push him to like what Kobe would push herself. That type of athlete is like a coach's dream. And the same thing for Michael Jordan. Like, you can't push them harder than they're gonna push themselves. But LeBron James is saying, I got this stat, I got that stat. And Tyronn Lue telling him during that Cleveland, that Cleveland championship series, that, look, man, I don't care about no stats, man. You got to do better. You got to do better. And this was in 2016. And here we are, 2026. And people are still talking about LeBron James just stat padding. So he's been doing this for a while. He's just worried about his stats more so than he is anything else, because he don't want to be put in a position where as though you can blame him. You can say, well, the Lakers lost, Cleveland Cavaliers lost, but LeBron James still playing at a high level. That's the difference between Mike, Kobe, and LeBron. Stats don't determine the game, man. Like, they're going to do everything and anything and take the win, whether it's rebounds, steals, scoring, tough defense, like everything, whatever it take to win, because it's just more to the game than just your stats, right?
And Michael Jordan, in my opinion, the two guys I ever played against that was willing to leave it all on the court. And I mean it all. They were willing to, if it meant drop dead on the floor, those two guys, I'm convinced, would be willing to do that for the victory.
That one right there, man.
That is crazy. Mark Jackson said that those two guys would prefer to drop dead on the court, and that's how most, 99.9% of professional basketball players just not going to push themselves like that. And that's what separate. I mean, you can't fake that. Fans, like that LA fan base, man, and Kobe and that Black Mamba thing, man, they are crazy about Kobe over there. Fans are crazy about Mike because you, as a fan, man, you can appreciate, you can feel when somebody out there just giving it everything they got. You can't fake that. You can't flop. You can't, load manage. You got a guy who show up for work every day and then don't take no plays off. That's crazy. That is, you're not going to get that from most people.
Made me the greatest player of all time. That's what I felt.
Reasons.
I was super, super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years of everything in sports going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time. Everybody was just talking how they were the greatest team of all time. Like, they was the greatest team ever assembled. And for us to come back, the way we came back in that fashion, I was like, you did something special. That's like one of the only times in my career I felt like, oh shit, like you did something special. I haven't really had.
And I noticed that LeBron James will elevate. He elevated that team, what was it? The Golden State Warriors in that instance, right? He talked about how great they were and the greatest of all time and all this stuff because he beat them. And whenever LeBron James or somebody from LeBron James camp is talking about Mike, they just try to downplay what Mike did, you know, in order to elevate LeBron. But he will elevate somebody else if it works to his advantage. I just really noticed that about LeBron James. So he always trying to change the narrative.
Time to really like sit back and think, but that was a moment.
Yeah, and so this is so many examples, man, of people coming up like J.R. Smith and saying that, you know, it was just a big difference, man. You know, nobody had to motivate or push Kobe and Mike, and it just was different. It's just different. So that's my take on it. I thought it was an interesting interview that Richard Jefferson had with J.R. Smith. Also, the statements made by Mark Jackson, man, that he really feel like, and that's what the fans feel like Mike and Kobe, like you were damn near had to carry them guys out on a stretcher, you know, and that's literal. That's literal. You know, you had to carry them guys out on a stretcher. They just not going to be denied. We're not going to be denied. So, but you don't get that from LeBron James. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm going to check y'all out in the next video. Peace.